Good morning. My name is Lucille Warone, and I'm a practitioner here at the center, and I'm going to lead today's meditation. Thank you for joining us here at the center and also on our love stream. You're all so welcome. Touch here. Here we go. Thank you. So I'm Lucille Warone, a practitioner here at the center. I'd like to welcome our love stream meditators as well as those who took the time to be here in person. So before we get into our meditation, let's just shake off the busyness of our morning. So I encourage you to actually physically shake yourself. One technique I learned a couple weeks ago is to take your hand and actually brush the dust of your journey off your body and go all the way down to your legs. And you have the advantage of being able to use both hands. So now just take a real deep cleansing breath, as deep as you can, and release it and settle back into your chair. I'll ask you later if you felt dusted. So to prepare our minds and our bodies for meditation, I encourage you to do a few rounds of box breathing, and its purpose is to calm the busyness, the vritti of your mind. Technique to have whenever you're challenged. No one knows you're actually doing it, so it can be in traffic, a lineup somewhere, getting a disturbing email message or text, whenever you need to center yourself. So it's called box breathing because you breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and then resume. Some people find it helpful to imagine as you're doing that breathing pattern to draw a box. So it just gives you something to focus. So let's breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Continue that pattern at your own pace for a few more breaths. Now just check in with your body. Do you need to adjust your position in the chair to just get that much more comfortable? Take a minute to do that. Get centered and grounded with your feet on the floor. So here in this blessed stillness, we drop down to that deepest most place, the highest most place within each of us. Dr. Pat will be talking about the long and winding road. And today's entry from Ernest Holmes' book, 365, Science of Mind, says, life is an adventure in which we never know what's going to happen just beyond the turn of the road. But too often, our today is filled with regrets of the past. If we could convince ourselves that the limitations of the past need not be carried into the future, what a happy outlook we would have. So right here and now, I know that Spirit is forever unfolding its own nature in the physical universe and through us, insomuch as we accept and allow its expression. So in the stillness of this moment, we sense this presence within. I allow it to fill my heart and my mind with loving peace, forgiveness. And as this loving presence fills my consciousness, it helps me forgive myself and all others of the mistakes of the past. cleansing my heart and mind. I forgive and I am forgiven. There is only love, love that heals. I open wide the gates of my receiving of this healing love and allow it to permeate every corner of my consciousness. And during our time of silence, if uninvited thoughts arrive in your consciousness, allow them to come and come to pass. Like leaves flowing down a stream, release them and let them go. Today, I am filled with love for myself and others. I gladly loosen my attachment to the past and let it go. I know that today I am creating my tomorrow and all my tomorrows. And I create that future not from memories of the past, but from a deeper acceptance of my highest truth. I am filled with hope and sustained expectancy. I am divinely guided into right action and fulfillment of all good desires. So slowly bring your awareness back into the room, into your body. Reconnect with your body. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Squiggle your feet. Circle your head. Take a few deep breaths. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So I'd like to acknowledge Ernest Holmes' book, 365 Science of Mind, for many of the phrases in this meditation. And I thank you, each of you, for taking the time to be here today to help bring the energy of love and light and celebration into our physical space here and also your home space or wherever you're watching us from. Namaste.
Parking lot. Ooh, ba, 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 ba. Ooh, ba, 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 ba. Take all the trees, put them in a tree museum. Then they charge the people $1.50 just to see him. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Ooh, ba, ba, ba. Parking lot. Ooh, ba, 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 ba. Ooh, ba, 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 ba. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Ooh, ba, 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 ba. Ooh, ba, 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 ba. Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Parking lot.
Yeehaw! Lord. Hi, everybody. How are ya? That was a great way to open. Thank you. You're going to hear more from Joe and Amy and the rest of Elevation here in just a little bit, but I'll introduce myself. I'm Pat Campbell, and I am the spiritual director of the center. If you've never been to a Center for Spiritual Living, there's a few things you need to know. We are a faith tradition. We don't call ourselves a religion. We are a philosophy that honors all faith traditions. We honor all paths to understanding. There are something like 8 billion people on this planet. That's 8 billion ways that that divine life energy is knowing itself as us. Each of us is unique. Each of us is here to express that divine nature. And so there can't be just one way to believe. That doesn't make sense in a limitless universe. So wherever you are on your spiritual path, we would like to welcome you and let you know we're super happy that you're here. If there's anybody who is here for the first time, if you're willing to raise your hand, we don't want to embarrass you. We just want to say hi, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Oh goodness. Okay, we'll get over to you. Fantastic. And Rosalie, we also have one in the corner over here, kind of sitting in front of John. And over here too? Where did we miss somebody? Give them a hand for being here. That's so awesome. Woohoo! And I also want to welcome our love stream people. We love you. You are part of our community. We love you on the love stream and we love you in person. What can I say? We love you. And we're so happy that you're here as well. If you would, in the chat, if this is the first time you've been here, if you just put something in the chat like, hey, it's my first time or something, so that we can know that you tuned in as well. And all of you, would you turn around and wave at George Clooney and let him know, what can I say? They know how to get my attention, just so that we're all part of this same spiritual community. It's so great. So we're going to start out by singing what we call our Kong song. This is one that was actually written by Amy Bishop and Gary Lynn Floyd, called something cool. What's it called?
One step at a time.
One step at a time. We know this one. Let's stand up and sing together.
Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, and in this courage I've found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, but in this courage I've found. The sky is falling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. No doubt about it, won't stop till I get to the top. One step at a time. 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 One step at a
That was fun. Well, there's a lot of you littles and not quite so little anymore. So, Miss Rachel. I know, and look, you just all kinds of guys showed up. All right, get on out of here. He's like, I want to go there. Hi, bud. Hi, bud. So let me tell you what is going on here at the center. We always kind of take care of the business part. So then when we get into the sacred, we can stay there. So this is the final week for you to register as a member of the center. And the reason why I'm saying that is we have our AGM at the end of this month. And only members are allowed to vote, and we're voting in hopefully a couple of new board members. Nothing like really pressing, but the new board members is important. So if you are already a member, you've been a member forever, but you haven't renewed, you need to do that because otherwise you're not on the list for this year. Or if you are just like, oh my gosh, I have found my spiritual home. This is my spiritual home. I want to be a member. Then we would like you to become a member as well. So you can go to calgarycsl.org. Click on Get Involved, select membership. The link is also in the newsletter, and we've got some paper copies of renewal out in the lobby as well. So this is the last week, and then the AGM is at the end of the month. So you want to make sure you get yourselves registered for that. Excuse me, we've got a ton of April events coming up. Easter, spring, Passover, all those springtime observances, that's next week. And we always talk about the metaphysical interpretation of the holiday of Easter, which is actually named for the goddess Oestra, who was the goddess of spring and fertility. We're going to learn a lot of really interesting things. So that's going to be our Easter service next week. But feel free to come dressed in your Easter finest. It's going to be a good time. New member celebration for those of you who have just joined the center in this past year. Then we're going to celebrate you on April 16th. It's a lovely little ceremony. You're going to love it. We're going to have singing bowls here on Sunday afternoon, April 23rd. We'll get more information to you next week. And then, as I mentioned, the AGM is on April 30th. So lots of things going on. And if you miss the announcement, you can always check the website. You can always look on the newsletter as well. And I'm going to invite Ron Hahn to come up and tell you a little bit about his group, Consciousness Seekers, because there's a bit of a shift going on. Because, shift does happen.
Yeah, we're at the end of our book. We were looking at Rupert Spira and the non-dual approach, and he was a bit heady. So we're gonna pull back and shift to the side and look at Eckhart Tolle's The New Earth and the Power of Now. So that's all the information. And it's Monday night. It's at 7 and it goes to 8:30. We do have a meditation in there that usually relates to what we're reading. But what I really want to point out is maybe the part you might be missing. This is a great group of people. We have 8 to 15 people. They come together. They enjoy each other's company. We enjoy being with each other. And we're open. We want more people to come. These people also come to center. They can become your friends. And that's what they are. They're friends in SOM, in Science of Mind. So if you're new and you're looking to meet more people and then have an opportunity to meet them at the center, this is a good place to start. There's no cost to it. You don't have to be there. You come and go as you like. It's a discussion group. So I think you'll really enjoy it while you're also learning more about Science of Mind through Eckhart. Okay?
All right, great. And I have to point out that well done in matching your shirt with the slide. Okay. We just have it going on, right? So the information to go to the Monday Night Seekers, Consciousness Seekers, is in the once again on the website, in the newsletter, and then we have other ongoing community groups. Coffee with Dr. Pat is with me Wednesdays at noon, and then Saging Circle, which is our wisdom keepers, our elders, those who share wonderful information with one another, and that's facilitated by Neil and Sandra. There you are, Sandra and Neil Butler, and that's a wonderful group as well. All of these are on Zoom at this point, so lots of opportunity to stay in a spiritual state of mind during the week. So I think that's all I've got to say. I'm going to invite our practitioner of the day, Lucille Warone, to come up. She's going to give us our spiritual mind treatment. Amy's going to lead us in a chant. And I'd like to invite the rest of the ministers and practitioners to please come forward if you are in the house. We would love to see you. And these are some of the people who we call them the healing arm of our center. We are a healing teaching. And so they are here to be. Hello, Eris. I see. Hi, Buddha. Oh my goodness. I'm going to stop talking because nothing I can say is going to get your attention back to me. So, Amy and Steph and Lucille, if you would.
I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am.
I am that I am. I am all that Spirit, Divine Presence, God is. Love, peace, joy, harmony, health, and vitality. These qualities are my birthright, and here and now I claim them. And today, I pause and reflect which of these qualities long for greater expression through me and as me. What do I need to release? What do I need to accept? To be living this divine presence more fully, day by day by day. I know that yesterday ended at midnight, and today is a new day, full of promise, hope, new beginnings. In the eternity that is our divine presence. I'm grateful for the knowingness of this truth, for the experience of the knowledge of this presence within me, for its illumination, for its divine guidance, guiding me to higher thoughts, more harmonious words and interactions, and divine right action. So I release these words knowing that they are already so, as I have spoken, and together we affirm, and so it is.
I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am.
So now let's recite together our vision and mission statements. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living is a beacon of spiritual illumination that inspires individuals to reveal their wholeness, co-creating a world that works for everyone. And our mission statement, the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living makes accessible a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. We co-create an inclusive community that fosters an expansion of consciousness.
Thank you, Lucille. Thank you, Amy and Steph. And thank you, my beloveds, for being here and being in support of the center. So you are in for such a treat today. We we get to hear Amy often. We get to experience her with Elevation every week or almost every week. But what you may not know is that she comes from a musical family. And her mom is right here. Her dad is right there. And this is her brother, who is a wonderful singing in his own right. So, and I didn't know you were doing this by yourself. So you share billing with Amy on this. Sorry about that.
Okay, I'm used to it.
Yeah. Please welcome Joseph Levesque.
Give you more credit too.
The long and winding road that leads to your door will never disappear. I've seen that road before.
Joseph Levesque. And Elevation. Oh my gosh. Holy moly is right. I'm quite verklempt. I'm seeing people drying their eyes. That was really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Would you breathe with me, please? Taking a deep breath and release. And again. And release. And one more time at your own pace. You feel it? It just evens everything out. I love it, love it, love it. I specifically asked for that song in acknowledgement of my 10-year anniversary of being here in Calgary. It all started 10 years ago, yesterday, yes, April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2013, and my sister and I pulled out of my driveway in Temecula, California. My car was filled to the brim. My furniture wasn't going to get here for 3 or 4 weeks, so I had my real necessities like my coffee maker in the car, my 2 cats, and my sister, and we made the long and winding road to your door. Actually, it was more like a long and straight road because from Temecula, California to Calgary, you get on the Interstate 15 and you head north for 2,500 kilometers or 1,500 miles if you speak mileage. However, metaphorically is what I want to talk about, this long and winding road that honestly goes back more than just 10 years ago, because the road that got me here was definitely winding, and it was harrowing, and it was sometimes gentle, and it was sometimes boring, and it was sometimes exciting, and it was sometimes scary, and it was sometimes beautiful. There were lots of detours, there were lots of storms, all that stuff. And yet, more than it being my life journey, it's also my spiritual journey. And that's true for all of us. Everyone, everywhere. Because the very fact that we are alive and we are having this spiritual being, having this human experience means that we are on a pathway of understanding and awareness, even if we don't know it. Ignorance is no excuse. We are all on a spiritual path. We are all having the life journey that is leading us to the door of whatever's next. Yes? You with me? Okay. So we can whine and complain about it. Well, maybe you don't. I do. Because it's been hard sometimes. Anybody else's journey been a little long and winding? So we can complain about it, or we can look at where we are now and think to ourselves, wow, I've really come a long way. I found this wonderful quote by Catherine Pulsifer. The best part of life is to decide to make the journey through life like a best-selling book. Tell a fantastic story when you are ready to tell others how you did it. Make sure your life is the best story ever written through a journey filled with overcoming obstacles, taking risks, and continuing to develop. So with your indulgence, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my long and winding road and how I got to your door here in Calgary. So I was born the fourth kid. I bet you couldn't tell I was the youngest, right? Is it obvious? Okay. Only older people say yes. Those of us who are the youngest are like, no, we got it all going on. So anyway, I was the fourth of a military family. My dad was a United States Marine. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and it was very typical. I loved Pat Christie had posted a picture on Facebook of I'm assuming her and her two sisters dressed in their Easter outfits in like this late early '60s and stuff. The skirts that went out like that and the little bonnets and stuff like that. Well, ours too, right? It was a very typical '50s and '60s childhood, except we moved around a lot because we were in the military. I spent 3 years in Japan as a kid. Rosalie, you didn't know that, did you? And I would say that was probably one of my first spiritual awakenings. Because I realized as I'm this little 7-year-old kid, and we're in Japan, we're in Tokyo, which is a really big and populous city. And I realized that not everybody looked like me. We were the minority. And so that led to a very early acceptance of diversity and variety in life. My parents made sure that we were exposed to the Japanese culture, including the religions. We would go to Buddhist temples, and we would take part in tea ceremonies. And that said, we were raised in a very loose Protestant Christian kind of a tradition. We were WASPs. We still use that word, White Anglo-Saxon Protestants. That's what we were. So when we settled for the final time in California, so I was born in California, and then we traveled for a bit, and then when we came back to California, I was 9. And so we attended a Protestant church there in the town. And I'm somebody who likes to be included in things, so I joined the youth group that was there. And it's funny to me now. I actually became a little bit of a Jesus freak. You guys remember Jesus freaks, Yeah. I don't know whether it was that I loved Jesus or whether I just liked being part of something, that I liked belonging. But those were some happy years for me, right? Until I was about 16, and then things started not making sense to me anymore. I was being told that the only people who could go to heaven were those who accepted Jesus as their personal savior, and I was like, but what about all those people who never heard of Jesus? That seems limiting to me. I'm 16, right? So I went to go talk to our pastor and explain to him this cognitive dissonance. I didn't use that word, but I know now that's what it was. That didn't make sense. And all he told me was to have faith. He didn't give me any answers. He didn't give me any explanations. There was no wiggle room for that rule. And it didn't work for me. I'd already been exposed to diversity and to different cultures and ways of life. So telling me that those people that I knew were damned just because they didn't know something, that didn't make sense to me. So I let go of my faith. I let go of the youth group. I let go of my religion. Not in a dramatic way, like, well, okay, maybe it was. I was 16, but I don't recall it being too dramatic. Now, I need to make a little aside here. I told you it's a long and winding road, right? Excuse me. I do have a funny little experience that ended up being prophetic in a certain way. So because I like to belong, and if somebody asks me to do something, I usually do it, I let myself be talked in to becoming a Job's daughter, which is like an offshoot of Mason's for teenage girls. Any other Job's daughters in the room? Okay, yeah. Oh, Maybe it wasn't a thing here. It was back then, right? And there were lots of rituals and there was lots of secrecy and special language and all that and things that I look back and go, whew, that was a little bit interesting, except the one role that I served in my time as a Job's daughter was that of librarian. And the librarian's job was to read an inspirational quote or reading or poem at the monthly meetings. And I would spend lots of time finding just the right one. Everybody go like this. Is there a pattern shaping up? Now I need to tell you one other thing before I go into like the detours of my journey. And again, I know you're going to have a lot of trouble believing this. All my life, I've loved performing. Thank you. All the way through university, I sang, I played the flute in high school, I did community theater, I did college theater, whatever. I wanted to be either a Broadway star or a rock singer. Okay? So this love of performing informed a lot of my choices through the years, like almost quitting university with one semester left to go so I could go be a country western singer in a dive bar in a town called San Bernardino, California. So, which leads me to probably the biggest detour of my life, but it also led to probably my greatest spiritual growth. Because in my late teens and 20s, I started abusing drugs and alcohol in a pretty serious way. In fact, I barely remember my 20s. In fact, I didn't go to my university graduation because I forgot about it because I'd been drinking. So, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. They're juicy, trust me. But suffice it to say, this was not the highlight of my life, but I learned a lot. And so 37 years ago, last month, through the persuasion of my family, I went to my first AA meeting, and I haven't had a drink or a drug in 37 years. Now, the 12 steps, if you are a 12-step person of any persuasion, you know that the 12 steps are based on spiritual principles. Absolutely. And so step 3 is made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand God to be. Now, for you purists, you 12-step purists, yes, I gender neutralized that sentence. After all, it's 2023. Okay, so made a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understand God to be. Now, fortunately, the spiritual aspect of the 12 steps worked for me. It worked for me. It turned out I still had some belief in me. Who knew? It was just not traditional Christianity. So having a God of my understanding made sense to me. And I relied on it very heavily during those early years of sobriety, and I'm so grateful for that. Because now we come to another major turn in my long and winding road. A few years after becoming sober, a friend of mine invited me to what was known at the time the Church of Religious Science in Vista, California. We are now called Center for Spiritual Living, teaching the science of mind. It's the same teaching, just a different name. And like many of you, as soon as I walked in, I knew I was home. I hear that story over and over and over again from people. I walked in, and instead of hearing onward Christian soldiers, we hear things like the long and winding road and big yellow taxi. I loved the energy. I loved the message. I loved that there were so many different ways to refer to this God of my understanding. I loved hearing that my thoughts were powerful. I loved that the teaching is based on accepting different faiths and traditions and sexual orientations and religions and ways of life open at the top. So I was hooked from day one, even though my family was sure I joined a cult. But I knew I had found my truth. It was my truth. So after a while, kind of, sitting back where they're sitting, and then maybe moving up to where they're, got to know people, and I became, because I love to perform, I became a featured soloist, like Amy, like Joe, all of them, and I started singing at my center with an organ. The person played the organ, but boy, could we rock! And then I started singing at other centers around the area. In fact, that led me to another major turn of in my road. So I had sung at my center one Sunday, and then my sister and I went to a psychic fair. This, I swear to God, I am telling you the God's honest truth. We went to a psychic fair, and it was one of those ones where they had the list of the readers up here, and you just chose one, and you went and had a reading with them, right? So I didn't know any better, right? So I thought it was kind of cool, so I chose this gal. And she looks at me, and she lays out my cards, and she says, "Well, you have a lot of spiritual cards." I said, "Oh, you know what? I've refound my spiritual life." I said, I'm in AA, and that's really based in that. And I found a center or a church that I really like. In fact, I sing there. I sang there this morning." And she lays out the cards. And she says, "You are going to have a singing ministry." Have you ever had the experience of somebody saying something that just brings all the pieces of your life together and your life makes sense? Now, I don't know too many spiritual directors who will cop to the fact that they were brought onto the path by a tarot card reader, but it's my story. Because I believe that the universe gets the message to you in a way that you are going to hear it as long as you're open to it. In fact, here's what Ernest Holmes said. He said, "We should come to the realization that the presence greater than we are is cooperating with us, which it most certainly is, and therefore we must cooperate with it. And our cooperation is so simple. Believe in it, trust its guidance, accept its expression through us." So I enrolled in Foundations the very next term, and I knew why I was here. I knew what my life was about. So there were other twists and turns, you know how that goes, but ultimately I graduated from ministerial training in 1997. Do the math, yes, that's coming up close to 25 years ago. Now, in those days, our choices after we graduated from ministerial school were very limited. There was no such thing as staff minister or supportive minister or assistant ministers, nothing like that. So our choices were either to audition or apply for an existing center as a senior minister, fresh out of ministerial school, or go someplace and start a center where there isn't one, like, Podunk, Idaho. And I was told under no circumstances should I expect that a center in Southern California would open up, because they're scarce as hen's teeth. Who doesn't want to be in Southern California? So I kind of hung out that year. I sang, I did some guest speaking, and I just stayed open to possibilities. And lo and behold, About a year after graduating, the ministers of the Temecula Center called me. I thought they were going to ask me to speak or sing. Temecula was about 40 miles from my home. And they said they're moving to North Carolina, and asked if maybe I wanted to take over their little tiny center. So without going into a lot of detail, because there were some details, I did take over that center. There were 12 people in the congregation. There were $35 in the checking account. And I was there for 15 years. Yeah, thank you. And we built that center from this tiny little thing meeting in a school cafeteria. You know what school cafeterias on Sunday mornings smell like? But we built it up into a very nice size, very well respected spiritual center. We graduated tons of foundation students, dozens of practitioners, several ministers. We had a thriving children and teens program. At one point, we had close to 50 children, and we provided a spiritual home for hundreds of people over those years. So now you're thinking to yourself, what the hell? How did that long and winding road turn into me arriving to your door in the frozen tundra of Alberta? Raise your hand if you're wondering that. Yeah. When summer of 2012, Dr. Carol Carnes, who was my predecessor here, contacted me about coming up and doing a talk and doing a workshop. And at the end of her email, she wrote very casually, "So, have you ever thought about moving to Canada? I'm retiring soon, and I think they might like you." And I was like, "Oh, no, well, no, I'm good here. I just redecorated my house, and I'm too old to move." But the more she told me about it, the more intrigued I became. Because our teaching is about expansion. Our teaching is about growth. Our teaching is not about staying in the same place indefinitely. And the truth was, I'd become a little stagnant. Yeah. So when I came up to be a guest speaker, and Reverend Marjorie took me all around, I'm Marjorie, I hope you're watching, take me all around, and I looked at it through the eyes of somebody who might consider being here and making a move. Of course, it was August. So I wasn't getting a real sense of it. In fact, people kept complaining about how hot it was, and I was like, "Really? So this is hot. This is what we consider hot." Where I came from, I'm going to speak Canadian for you. It goes 30 plus from April until November. And people are like, "Oh no, it's so hot." I'm like, well, this might be the place for me. So I spoke here a couple more times that fall. And in January of 2013, got a phone call from the Board of Trustees offering me the position. And 3 months later, again on April Fool's Day, I began my long and winding road to my new life in Canada. And I wish I could tell you that it was easy, but it wasn't. It was really hard sometimes, and not just the weather. It was hard because not everybody liked me, and I wasn't used to that. I'd just come from my own center that I'd built from 12 people, to a couple hundred, and they liked me. They loved me. Not everybody here liked me. People really didn't like the idea that the beloved building on 17th Avenue had been sold, and that they were meeting at SAIT, in an auditorium at SAIT. There was a lot of resentment around that. So I had a choice. I could give up and leave, And I'll be honest that in 10 years, that thought crossed my mind. Not recently, but certainly in the beginning, probably after about the second winter, it crossed my mind. Or I could continue to do what had been successful in my previous years of ministry. So I kept loving people. Even the ones who didn't love me, I loved them. I kept teaching the science of mind. That is our backbone. I kept myself and others living in principle. And I kept my eyes on what was possible. So within 4 years, we left SATE and we purchased this building and moved in summer of 2017. So in time, this center became my center. And I became your minister. Does that make sense? Yeah. And before I knew it, here it is, 10 years hence. 10 years. 10 years. Now, I need to tell you that I'm 10 years older than I was when I first got here. So I cannot promise you another 10 years. I'd be really flippin' old. But what I can promise you is that we are here together on this long and winding road for as long as it works for all of us. And I, for one, am super happy here. I love you, and so it is. Thank you. Now it's time for sabbatical. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. Please welcome Amy Bishop and Joseph Levesque.
Rose and flows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere. I looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I could have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all.
Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go.
give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way. But now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say I've changed. But something's lost and something's gained in living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life. I've looked at life from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all.
Joe Levesque, Amy Bishop. Holy moly. Do we have enough Kleenex? Wow, that was really something. Thank you both. That was, I bet you've harmonized before. That's the first time. Whew. So, now is the time that we have the opportunity to support the center. We are a nonprofit organization. We rely completely on donations. So if you're online, on the screen there are different ways that you can contribute to the center, lots of easy ways. We're going to do our collection here at the center. So I invite you to take your tithe, your gift, your offering, your donation, and hold it to your heart. And I want you to just think about what you just heard. That beautiful song by those beautiful siblings. And the story of how I got here and the song leading up to that and the sound of the children. I want you to think about your spiritual home. And I invite you now to say the conscious giving affirmation together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am so blessed, and so it is. And so it is. Oh, well, we're going to sing. We are going to sing. Well, I thank love. Love. I thank love for everything. Let's sing together.
1, 2, 3. I thank love for everything. 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 I thank love for everything.
Woohoo! Thank you. And if you could let the kids know, Don, on your way out, that we are ready for the children. That looks like they're ready to come in. Here come the kids. Wow, you guys multiplied.
Okay, wait, let's like line out a little. Scooch back. There, okay. Hi, everybody, and happy Sunday. Whew, we had a lot of fun today. We played Twister. We read an amazing story. We colored, and we created these beautiful Easter crafts. Everybody hold up your duckies and your chickies.
Oh, nice.
The creativity is astonishing. They blow my mind every single Sunday. It's amazing, and I'm so excited to have so many littles. It totally changes the dynamic of the class when we have more kids. So thank you so much for bringing them. I have a couple of really... Oh, wait, Ellie wants to say something.
Put my ducky down. Treat others the way you treat yourself.
Oh.
Good job, Ellie. Thank you.
Nice. The golden rule.
I have a couple of really quick announcements. Number one, if you haven't seen my cool shirt, we have these shirts available in the Soul Shop. They are to support the center, so it just says the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living.
I want to see
Change
it.
your
I
thinking,
didn't see
change
it.
your life.
Oh, change your thinking, change your life. Calgary Center for Spiritual Living.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
We have sizes, I think, small all the way up to double XL, and they're available in the Soul Shop. I plan on tie-dyeing mine in the summer. So if you have any other ideas of how to transform these beautiful white t-shirts, let me know. But these are available in the Soul Shop, along with... Oh, we got more of the I Am Powerful cards. I'm so excited to have these back in. Last time I highlighted them to the congregation, they were gone in the very quick breath. So I'm very happy to have more of these in. And my last little announcement is this amazing book, Living the Science of Mind, we have in the Soul Shop for $18. It's a really good read, gives you a lot of practical tips and tricks. It's just a really, really good read. So I highly recommend checking out the Soul Shop today. There are so many good things in there. And thank you, everybody, for bringing the littles. And have a happy Sunday.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And next week is Easter, so you may be looking for little things to fill your Easter baskets. Okay, so everybody, we're going to stand up and do our closing. This is far different than it was 25 years ago when I first started, but I love it. So we're going to rub our hands together, and we're going to get all that good energy. Everything that you did. Wait, everybody just go like this and pick up the energy. Just pick up the energy. You got it? You got it? Now we're going to rub together, and we're going to send it out to wherever is needed. You personally, somebody in your family, someone you love, anywhere. The United States could use it. So if you want to send some down there, let's do that. Okay, are ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. Have fun.
Let's write a story about a tidal wave. We run out of luck. We run out of days. We ran out of gas 100 miles away from the station. There's a war and a plague, smoke and disaster, lions in the Colosseum, screams of laughter, motherless children, a witness and a Bible, nothing but rain ahead, no chance for our survival. Just before the flood comes, just before the night falls, just before the blood comes into the valley, just before my eyes go, just before we can't go no further. Love throws a line to you and me. I heard someone told me I'm very far away. Brother, oh brother, did I hear them say, prisoner of this endless story of pain, you hold the key, try to find a way. Just before the flood comes, just before the night falls, just before the flood runs into the valley, just before my eyes go, just before it all blows. He says, we see love grow light, you and me. From behind.